possibility of an ideal society from a sociological perspective. Background. A perfect society is seen as the ideal type of society. It is one in which every aspect of daily life is as perfect as it is possible to make for every member of the community. However, because it has never happened, this kind of society will forever stay a pipe wish in people's heads. People can acquire more about communities, how they grow, and the characteristics influencing members' behavior thanks to the discipline of sociology. Sociological viewpoints provide the best solutions for promoting the creation of a perfect society. However, there are considerable differences between the reality captured in various areas. This topic thoroughly considers the distinctive characteristics that define a society. Key components. The analysis of societal interaction, social reform, and the social determinants and effects of human conduct is known as sociology. Sociologists study how individuals relate to groupings, companies, and communities in their organizational structures. People share social traditions, social conventions, and moral standards in their cultures. Since all human activity is social, sociology's discussion includes everything from the intimate familial setting to the violent multitude, from criminal organizations to cultural traditions, and from differences in racial, gender, and socioeconomic class to shared cultural views. Focusing on the overview, social structures, organizations, statuses, responsibilities, and customs are vital elements that sociologists who study social structures take into account. These elements might either discourage or encourage societal development. Specialists and sociologists give distinctive characteristics that characterize a perfect society. According to McCaffree, in a perfect society, every group in society would be supportive of one another and regard one another as being on an equal footing. Equal access to quality healthcare, a good education, clean water, and fundamental human rights would be provided to all social classes. Rural, urban, and suburban residents would each have their government and be a single state or nation member. Advocacy for freedom, liberty, justice, sustainable development, equity, and balance are a few ways specialists characterize an ideal society. The actuality, however, is exceptionally dissimilar since how people live their lives would vary widely from the elements anticipated in a perfect society. Individuals are split based on status, and most do not view their fellow men as being on the same footing as them. Many members of the various classes consider what is best for themselves economically instead of what is most beneficial to society. For example, in a society that employs capitalism, people prioritize their objectives over the concerns of the entire community. Theory and research. Since the sociological theory continually changes, it should never be viewed as finished. Although new sociological ideas expand and supplement older ones, fundamental sociological theories will still be considered significant and relevant. Since they offer insightful answers, structural functionalism, conflict theory, and symbolic interactionism have become dominant sociological discourses. Firstly, a viewpoint known as structural functionalism regards society as a sophisticated structure whose components interact to foster cooperation and stability. It claims that social frameworks, which are generally dependable norms of social conduct, direct people's lives. Improved laws would arise from adopting common meanings, philosophies, dialects, and beliefs. A stable system would finally support the creation of a perfect society. Secondly, based on a macro level of research, the conflict theory suggests that class struggle is the primary cause of society's ongoing transformation. The conflict perspective sees social life as a form of contest, in contrast to functionalism's understanding of society as a sophisticated structure attempting to achieve equilibrium. Leaders who appreciate those they lead and trust in the theory will be eager to encourage the most remarkable trends, customs, and methods that advance fairness. Lastly, starting from the premise that the social reality is built from the common words and deeds of daily socialization, micro-level symbolic interaction occurs. It is primarily concerned with how distinguishing notions are modified and perceived through social behavior, not with uniqueness. The approach will thus inspire more people to develop stronger connections and interact effectively to convey insights. Marx, Spencer, and Kant all agreed that employing science to understand society was crucial, even though none ever used science. Of the three, Spencer is distinguished as the one whose ideas align with an ideal society. His structural functionalism approach shows how various components work effectively to create a society that can achieve its goals. Contrary to Spencer, Marx argued that a society's administrative, legislative, and academic institutions are determined by its financial activity, just as its customs, ethics, morality, and religious beliefs are. His hypothesis considers the world as it is in actuality. People. The society in which people dwell influences their way of performing and enjoying themselves, affecting how they see themselves and others. Their moral standards and ideas of what is acceptable and unacceptable are impacted. This illustrates how the culture in which individuals live affects their decisions. However, the decisions they make may also have an impact on other people and inevitably alter society. Individuals in a given society will behave responsibly and advance the intended social goals because certain factors and rules exist. Individual behavior will be influenced by the customs and characteristics that define a particular group. Disputes may lead to more people acting differently or engaging in criminal activity, but the advocacy of fairness may foster tranquility and enable people to behave appropriately. In turn, society has the power to affect macro or community-level behavior. The idea of collective harmony will permit individuals to behave in a particular way if they want to continue being embraced by society. For instance, individuals will be required to act in a certain way by societal structures ingrained in a specific society. The section has looked at several characteristics that make up a society. An ideal society that can help more individuals achieve their aspirations can be created with the help of the information. In summary, sociological scholars and analysts can consider the concepts presented here to address societal problems, constructively impact behavior, and ultimately help create ideal societies.